welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I've got a vintage cube draft going. This is the Final Fantasy run of the vintage online cube. Lurrus pack one, pick one. I could lock in and be a Lurrus companion deck. Polluted Delta keeps things wide open. I love a counterspell. I love an Underworld Breach. My last draft was Breach, but it did go pretty well. And I do love playing that card. And getting the Breach is the hard part. Like Lion's Eye Diamond and Brain Freeze aren't high picks for anyone else, usually. I think if this was the Cube Draft Pro Tour, I would take Polluted Delta or Counterspell, but I'm going to go for Breach. Let's have some fun. Mox Emerald. All right, somebody opened Double Power. Must be nice for them. I'm glad their luck could rub off on me a little bit, being seated next to them. As far as what I hope to wheel out of this pack, in Creeping Tar Pit, Underworld Breach frequently ends up Grixis. I would like the Tar Pit back around. I could see myself playing Lorien Revealed, Great Sail Freebooter, Malcolm. Alright, Mox Emerald, get in my deck. Echo of Eons. If Lion's Eye Diamond is a card that I'm going to pick highly if I see it anyway, this is a sweet spec on that. Fairy Mastermind, just a cool card. Sheldock Isle, a good card. I'm going to take the Echo. I'm trying to do something here. Stop, let me go. I'm doing something. Through the Breach, Brainstorm. Indatha Triumph, Preacher of the Schism. This is mostly a poop party for me. Not a lot of cards I'm particularly interested in, but I will take Brainstorm. Just moving cards around, find those combo pieces. Dark Confidant, Ledger Shredder. Teferi. Teferi's quite good. Ledger Shredder moves cards around. Bins things like Echo of Eons and gas for future Underworld Breaches. Chain of Smog. I have ended up with this combo multiple times this cube season already, which has been honestly pretty good. But I'm not going to splash black for half of a combo that would require me to splash green if I find the other half. Though Sedgemoor Witch was in my pack one that I opened, like Sedgemoor Witch making infinite pests. It's not as good as winning outright with Witherbloom Apprentice, but there are two combo pieces, and the whole combo is in this pack. I'm still going to take Ledger Shredder. Coveted Jewel. Oh, wow. Thought Scour. All right. Thought Scour is a Breach monster. Mishra's Bauble's pretty good, too. Yeah, Thought Scour milling over Echo or setting up Breach. Value Breaching, where you just like play Breach, then scour yourselves 4 times in a turn. Draw 4 cards. That's not bad. I would like that Bauble, but I'll take the Thought Scour. This pack is a mess. Do I want to acknowledge the possibility of white for Portable Hole? Do I want to acknowledge the possibility of black for Collective Brutality? I could just take this on-color Talisman. That may or may not actually make my deck. If I find Mox Opal or Tinker, I'll be happy I have this card, but otherwise, I barely care about it at all. I guess I'll take it. Gitaxian Probe is dope. Agatha Soul Cauldron is solid. Alright, Gitaxian Probe. Lurrus came back to me, and I'm still a legal Lurrus deck. Interesting. Lurrus Breach, just like we're playing Vintage? Yeah, I don't want any of these cruel dual lands. What am I even doing with this pack if it's not Lurrus? In Shallow Grave, I do have the Thought Scour and the Ledger Shredder. I could set up some Reanimate stuff, but Lurrus as companion in a combo deck. I'm leaving the door open for that. I almost first picked that. It's like I took 2 cards out of the pack and then sent it around. Freebooter is back to me, Hymn to Tarok. I'm probably not supporting Hymn to Tarok, but I do now have an incentive to play black cards, black mana. Booter is a legal Lurrus permanent. Fairy Mastermind, wow. All the cards I wanted are still in the packs. Short of the obvious Power 9 cards in Time Walk, Black Lotus, those are the best cards I could open, but a card like Psychic Frog would be phenomenal in my deck. We're looking for the LED or the Brain Freeze, of course. Indatha Triumph, Preacher of the Schism. I can't really play Preacher. White and green are not the colors I'm trying to support, but I will take Triumph. It's more likely to make the deck than any of this other stuff. Infernal Grasp, I'll take it. If I end up with a weird fetch land, Sick. A Grixis Duel at the bottom of the pack. And White of the Reliquary. I'm not playing that. Though it is a Lurisable permanent. Okie dokie, here we are. Upheaval that I'm not doing much to support. Quarry Steel Cutter. I'm not a bad Quarry Steel Cutter deck. Flash is awkward. It's one of my favorite cards in the cube, but it pulls me directly out of Lurrus. Zagoth Triome is an Underground Sea. Steam Vents is a volcanic island. Is Lurrus so much better that I won't even consider the Flash? Or am I taking Quarry Steel Cutter and just being married to Lurrus? But Quarry Steel Cutter is probably not going to deal 20 by itself, even with all my cantrips. Alright, I'll take Flash under the full understanding that it is contrary to Lurrus. Sensei's Top, Jace, which would disqualify Lurrus. Wasteland's always kind of defensible. Coalition Relic I do usually like, but again, Coalition Relic is not better than Lurrus. If I'm flashing in Atraxa, that might be. I might be giving up on Lurrus here, or at least taking another step down the path of giving up on Lurrus, because Jace, I think, is the card I want the most here. Sensei's Top is the other one I'd consider. Alright, Jace, you're in. Actual Underground Sea. Astrologian's Planisphere is really good. That's a win con with Breach. If we get a loop going, I think I just have to take Underground Sea to make sure I can play my cards, though. I hope this wheels. I got Fairy Mastermind on the wheel. If people aren't really paying attention to this in my pod, that's great for me. But Snapcaster and Planisphere are both cards I'd be happy to get, but I'm going to slam this Underground Sea. Mind Twist, hell yeah. A Vaultborn Tyrant is something that's really good to flash. So is Metamorphosis Fanatic. I recently learned, by doing it and being pleasantly surprised, that if you flash Metamorphosis Fanatic, it dies before its trigger goes on the stack, so you can reanimate it to itself and then bring something else with it. Mind Twist is right here, though. There's also another Grixis Duel, but I think I'll get this one back around. Right now it's Jace versus Lurrus. I'm going to take the Mind Twist. Vamp Tutor Fetchland. It's Fetchland. Verdant Catacombs does get Indotha Triome, which is basically just a tapped swamp in my deck, but it gets the Underground Sea, which is important. Vamp Tutor is fine. Cabal Ritual's fine, but I'm going to take this land. Another Underground Sea. Sephiroth, not really what I'm doing, and kills Lurrus. Remand is not embarrassing. I'm going to take the Underground Sea, though. Prof's Memory, Reanimate. Oh, wow. Okay. Reanimate this late in the pack. That dovetails with Flash. If you flash in a monster, it dies, then you reanimate the monster. That's some shit I can get on board with. Memory Jar's a draw 7, but not even close to what I'm doing. I actually like Concealing Curtains just fine as a card. Here's this pack back again. Caustic Bronco is here. Pretty reliable in a Lurrus deck to not kill me. And the lands are not the colors I need to support. I think the Planisphere is the next pack after this one that's about to come up. And I will play Reanimate even if I don't have cool things to flash in. This card is just fine, and I have multiple discard spells in my deck. I could get stuff out of their deck. This Breach is getting dicey, though. I need pack 3 to deliver all the goods. Hexmage, Relic. If I end up not playing Lurrus, I will like the Relic. Rathian's Tower, another Underground Sea. Tidehollow Scholar, unfortunately on the splash, but a pretty cool card to put in a Lurrus deck. Alright, the Vaultborn Tyrant's gone, but the Metamorphosis Fanatic is back. Cabal Ritual could conceivably be in the deck. Tendrils, oh my god. And an off-color Surveil land that I can fetch. But that does give me 2 fetchable green sources, plus the Emerald if I want to move into a green card somewhere. Okay, Grizzlebrand. That is something that is good to reanimate, is bad to flash. Spell Pierce, just a good card. Time Warp, pretty sweet one. There's another Underground Sea, but I have 3 of those already. Troll of Khazad-dûm makes the reanimation stuff better, but knocks out the Lurrus. Right now, Lurrus is holding back Metamorphosis Fanatic, Jace, and Coalition Relic from being in my deck. I don't think I'm talked off of Lurrus yet. I could take the Grizzlebrand just on spec. If an Entomb comes through, if Faithless Looting, or not Faithless Looting, the one that's good, Frantic Search, comes through. Plus I have the Ledger Shredder. I am going to spec on this Grizzlebrand. Lurrus is becoming less and less likely. Oh my god, two of the best cards I could ever want. Psychic Frog and Sheoldred, both here. I have a wheel. Psychic Frog lets me keep Lurrus, though. There's also another black fetch land. What a pack. Sometimes when it rains it pours. I hope to get the Ponder back, but that seems unlikely. Starting Town would probably make my deck. Taking Psychic Frog, I think that is better than Sheoldred for what I'm doing here. Ancient Tomb, Animate Dead, Chromatic Star. Animate Dead works with Lurrus, does not have a lot of targets. I'm not playing this Tendrils. I can clip that out of here. I've been pretty impressed with Chromatic Star lately, just cycling through. And it's also a card draw object with Lurrus. I passed the Mishra's Bauble early. I took something else over it. Yeah, these are good cards to pass, but I think my deck is more interested in Chromatic Star. So if I find the Entomb, I'll feel like such an idiot for not having Animate Dead. All right, sorry, Chromatic Star. Maybe you'll come back to me one day. Baleful Strix, great with Lurrus. Lose Focus, just a good interactive spell. Duress, a good interactive spell. I didn't get back Snapcaster or Planisphere last pack, so there are people downstream from me in blues all of a sudden after Fairy Mastermind wheeling in pack 1 and getting Gitaxian Probe in 8th, pack 1. I think I want Loose Focus here. All right, I've taken it. It's happened. Overlord of the Baelmerk messes up my Lurrus. Night's Whisper doesn't. Knights of Round is a reanimate target, and it's not very good to flash in. You just get 3/2/2s. It literally does anything with flash. Fallen Shinobi is a card that I usually like. I'm running out of chances to make Breach work. This might just be a blue-black Reanimator tempo deck. And in that deck, I would just put Lurrus in the deck. I'm going to take Overlord. Last Minute Panic. Another Underground Sea. Jace Vryn's Prodigy. A removal spell that I am preciously low on. Yeah, Jace is another looter. Exhume, Lotus Petal, Itali. All right. This is something worth flashing. It's something worth reanimating. Lurrus has finally met her end as my companion. We'll have to settle to being one of the 40. But the deck is now coming together. Siege Arc is solid. Dark Ritual's really good. And I have Mind Twist in my deck. What else am I ritualing out? I have Cabal Ritual in my board too, and Tendrils. But that's not really happening for me. I'm in the colors for Dakfaden, and that's another looter. My red's not great. Right, I think Dak is my best option regardless. Blightsteel you cannot reanimate, and it's useless to flash, but I did get the Troll back. Is Troll better than Pierce? I have 2 reanimates. I have a bunch of swamps I can get. Unfortunately, none of them are red. I have no pathway to red mana. I have this Talisman and the ability to draw cards. I think I want Spell Pierce. Ketria Triumph. That is a fetchable red source. Verdant Catacombs can get it. Starting Town is also a red source, but it hurts me a lot of the time if I use it. It's a bad top deck later. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try this new card. No, because this is being fetchable. If I didn't have a green fetch land, I would think about that differently, but I do. All right, Chromatic Star, you're in. Lethal Scheme is my card here. Generous Ent is a Troll of Khazad-dûm. It can get black and red and blue in my deck. That's actually close, but I am going to take the Lethal Scheme. Godless Shrine, I guess. I didn't end up with any white cards. Unearth. I got some targets for that. Might not play it. Fiery Cove. I can play it. All right, this pack 1 pick 1 Lurrus put me on a weird path for a while, but I think the deck ended up pretty good. There's basically like a Vaultborn Tyrant and a Worldspine Worm that I could have had otherwise, but the worm happened before the flash, or I would have just taken it and said goodbye to Lurrus. I don't actually need this Indotha Triome. It didn't end up doing anything. I've got 3 Underground Seas, 1 Volcanic Island, all of which are fetchable. I have a Swamp that surveils, and 1 additional red pip. And then I have Talisman that's unlikely to make the deck, Coalition Relic that might make the deck. Star's likely in. Probably not playing Caustic Bronco now that my deck's full of 7s and 8s. Echo of Eons didn't really get there. Neither did Breach. That's really sad. Pack 1, pick 1. Or it was Pack 2, pick 1, the Lurrus. Pack 1, pick 1 was Breach. And the entire draft, just no Lion's Eye Diamond, no Frantic Search, no Brain Freeze. Nothing that's really going to support this. That's extremely sad. Those were like my first two picks of the draft. Echo of Eons works with Psychic Frog. You can discard it to buff the frog, draw 7, then discard those 7 cards for a giant burst of damage. But I don't think I'm going to build to that, especially in a deck where having big dumb things in my graveyard is part of my strat. Unearth is the worst of my reanimates. I got 2 looters, 3 if we count Dak, and I do. I don't want Fire Covenant in the main. I'll bring that in if it's good. Lethal Scheme and Infernal Grasp are my 2 removal spells. I should probably keep those in the deck. I mean, Flash technically works with Overlord of the Baelmerk too. It's not sexy, but if you just need to load up your graveyard and cycle through some cards, that's a thing that works. This Coalition Relic might be a little too chunky, but I have cut both of my red pip artifacts. I still have 4 red sources for 1 red card though. I could just not play Dak, which also means Chromatic Star probably leaves the deck. Blackleaf Cliffs becomes basic Swamp. I don't know, Dak's sweet. Yeah, I like Dak. Brainstorm combos with the fetch land I have and the 2 surveil lands I have. I can brainstorm a monster to the top of the deck and then surveil it away. Jace is also more brainstorms and a whole extra plan that the deck has. It's kind of looking like Concealing Curtains and Gitaxian Probe are looking worse. Maybe I don't need this Lethal Scheme. Conniving is sweet, but I don't have a ton of creatures to connive with or convoke with. If this is the deck I settle on, I'm going to rebalance my basics. I need more islands than I need swamps here. I think this is fine. I can move cards around. I have powerful, proactive strategies of dope things to reanimate. Lurrus is an endgame engine. Lurrus can cast Animate Dead and keep sending the monsters. Flashing Metamorphosis Fanatic, one of my new favorite plays that I discovered by accident. Okay, this is not the deck that I was intending on drafting with basically any of my picks until late Pack 2, early Pack 3. Pack 3 is where it really came together. But I'm not embarrassed about this. Let's do it. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 1. I can hold up this Spell Pierce or Thought Scour on 1, or I can get Jace on 2. I think I'm going to play it safe. I think if it was just Spell Pierce, I would play the tap land, but the fact I get to use my mana, even if I miss, is cool. All right, Thought Scour me. Just taking rips at that. Hit Grizzlebrand. Easy game. All right, Underground Mortuary gives me my colors and additional surveils. A swamp. Do I want that? I got Lurrus online. I could not play Jace next turn. All right, I'm going to put Swamp in the graveyard. If I could play Jace with Spell Pierce still around, I would have kept that. If that was Island, I think I'd keep it. Ooh, they bin to Dak. We have the same deck. Blue Self-Mill with Dak Vaden. Opponent has good choice. Good taste. Fiend's Tower. Do I want to tap out for Jace? I think with Atali in my hand, yes. It would suck if this gets mana drained, but it would rule if it resolves. This calculation, all right. Moderately disappointing. 3 islands. True Name Nemesis. All right, well, that one's in. It's going to stay in. Oh, the Grizzfather. Grizzlebrand with Spell Pierce backup. I have to be a little bit careful here because they do have an untouchable creature. I can't just draw everything, but I am going to draw 7. And here we've got Psychic Frog or Hold Up Spell Pierce. Psychic Frog is especially messed up here because I'm going to discard 3 cards anyway. Discard Itali. Discard... I think I'm going to discard Dak and Blackleaf Cliffs just so I don't have to mess around with red mana this game. Okay, there's that. I've created 2 giant problems for them. Oh, that card's good. All right, Ancestral Recall resolves. They've got some power in their deck. Does it matter? I have just drawn way more cards than that. Ooh, the tap land. Love to see that. Might as well get in. All my creatures fly. All right. I'm gonna try to boot them. All right, no, they just don't want to play anymore. That's fair too. I did have lethal if I was willing to draw 7 and discard them all to frog there, which I probably would have been, especially after freebooting them. Okay, Reanimator shit worked. My opponent has Miscalculation and Ancestral Recall in their deck. Concealing Curtains does give me another discard effect versus potential counterspell decks. I think I'm off deck here. Just turn Blackcleave Cliffs back into a swamp. Play Dimir. Dak is a looter, but my opponent didn't show me exciting artifacts to steal. And the Blackcleave Cliffs did hang up in my hand as a land that would have entered tapped. Okay. I'm fine with this. Well, here's a whole plan. Keep. I can flash Reanimate or Ledger Shredder loot Reanimate. Oh my god. Alright, opponent. With your Black Lotus Ancestral Recall deck over there. Karn Scion. You can have Trinket Mage. I don't want them ramping. Underground Mortuary, get in. Ketria Triumph, go to the graveyard. Oh, here I can end step flash, untap, cast Reanimate with a counterspell available. Oh, they're plussing. You can have Lorien revealed. So they have Ancestral and Pentad Prism in exile with silver counters on them. There's Rockland Triumph. Next turn, they can cast Ancestral Recall. Ooh, is that actually better than Psychic Frog? Psychic Frog is like Flash, but it also attacks. Yeah, they can use Karn to wish for Ancestral Recall, cast Ancestral, then they have a handful of cards and only 2 mana. It's kind of fun that I'm doing stuff that can keep up with Black Lotus Ancestral Recall. Like, I don't even feel behind here. They need some additional fast mana. Fury, that deals 4. You think I won't discard 3 cards? Will I discard 3 cards? Interesting. Grizzlebrand, Ledger Shredder, Flash. And I can do this. If they then bounce it, it kind of stinks, but then I just reanimate Grizzlebrand. Right, Grizzlebrand, Flash, Ledger Shredder. Okay, if they have Ephemerate, they don't have Ephemerate. Right, they're Ancestraling, that's fine. It's like a Lightning Bolt here, finishes off the Frog, but is okay because I'm just going to reanimate Grizzlebrand. Looks like I'm just untapping with Frog. All right, so I don't quite have lethal here because it's reanimate. If it was animate dead, 14, 18, 19, 20, yeah, it would be lethal. All right. I'm gonna taxi and probe them and see what's going on over there. What are the goods? What's the word on the street? 7 card hand. We've seen the Trinket Mage already. Miscalculation, Reprieve, Memory Lapse, Trinket Mage, Enduring Curiosity, Cryptic. So they do have... Their 2 counterspells don't counter Reanimate here, which is pretty sick. Or Memory Lapse does, but I can lose focus that. Alright. Reanimate Grizzlebrand. We ball. Except this doesn't even counter it either. I'll just attack with Psychic Frog and cast it again. Do I want the lose focus in my hand, or do I want Grizzlebrand in play pre-combat? Okay. That's on top of my deck. Now I'll attack you and draw it. Them or Karn. I'm going to hit Karn. If they start gumming up the board with constructs, I'm not really interested in that. What a surprising draw. I'll reanimate Grizzlebrand. And do I want to go to 3 right now? No. All right. That was an easy question to answer. Though, if I hit Mox Emerald, I'm holding up a counter spell. All right. I will do it. Don't lightning bolt me, opponent. I did not hit Mox Emerald. Okay. That's fine. Let's discard 2 of these to Psychic Frog, not to hand size. Gotta remember all the things my deck can do. Discard Island. And discard... I don't think I need Overlord this game. Though Jace is probably worse. All right, discard Little Jace. Keep Big Jace. Father Jace. Okay. You can have Brain Surge. I'm trying to squeeze them on mana because their hand is full of cards. Yeah, they're just scooping to that. Hell yeah. We beat Ancestral Recall and Black Lotus on the draw with no Power 9 cards. Reanimator, baby. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 2. I'm going to keep my hand, and I'm going to Island Go, because if I wait to Gitaxian Probe, I can also Connive. And what am I even going to do if I know it's in their hand? It's not like it affects my sequencing or my play in any capacity. Oh god. Alright, we're playing against the Power 9 squad. Turza. I'm taking 3, and they get some powerful looting going. Discarded 2 lands. That's probably a really good start for them. I dare say. Okay, Swamp, Ledger Shredder, Gitaxian Probe you, Connive. I'm going to discard Dak because I really want Ledger Shredder to be 2/4. Lage Lava Spur Boots. I mean, their hand kind of sucks. Lava Spur Boots does let them bash through. They must have drawn the Flage off of Tursa. Wouldn't they have just looted that away? I guess if their hand is this many lands, they just kept on the strength of turn 1 Tursa and hoped it worked out. Which it mostly has. I can't really block with Shredder here, because they can either make Tursa 4 power before even attacking, or they can finish Shredder off with Flage second main, or they can top deck Goblin Rabblemaster. That's good too. Okay, I can take less by blocking the 3, or I could eat the Goblin. I think I want to eat the Goblin, because Rabblemaster starts to run away pretty quick. Thanks for the Connive, we did it. Drawing Reanimate, a little stinky. I'm going to loot away this Rafine's Tower. I don't think I'm going to have time to cycle that. Oh, we're so close to doing something here. There are no creatures in the graveyards at all. I'm going to Kitesail freeboot that Flage out of their hand. Oh wait, is this non-creature non-land? Shit. Alright, well, I'm going to miss completely, and I knew that would happen too. Okay. I have a blocker. Scoreboard. I'm going to pass. Yeah, it's Deep Cavern Bat. That's the good one. And Tide Hollow Scholar is the good one. Kitesail Freebooter is the bad one in between. Stop drawing cards! Oh, that's tough. That card is a banger. I wish they had just flaged one of my creatures, because reanimating Flage, bolting them back, is something I can get into. That thing's huge. Okay, what are we doing here? Everything's attacking. I'm going to chump this one because it's straight up lethal. And I can touch Butch with Tursa or kill Deathgreeter. I think I kill Deathgreeter and take 4 is the plan. Alright, those trade off. Now there are creatures in the graveyard. Can I use them? Oh my god. Interesting. I'm one spell short here. I can reanimate Ledger Shredder, animate dead Deathgreeter, loot away Grizzlebrand, but then I'm out of reanimates. I think I have to do it anyway. Alright, reanimate Ledger Shredder, animate dead, target Deathgreeter. Yep, one short. One spell, one action. I'm just dead to Flage now. And they've still taken 0 from this Mana Crypt that's been in play the whole game. Alright, they finally lost a flip. Got him. Lelia. Alright. A non-stop commitment to drawing banger after banger after banger continues. Alright, this is a Fire Covenant matchup. Concealing Curtains blocks. 0/4. I'll take it. Lethal Scheme. It's got to kill stuff. Not sure I'm interested in Unearth. Maybe this deck just shouldn't be in my deck. I am stretching a lot to make it happen. Chromatic Star doesn't need to be in if Dak's out. That's the only thing I'm splashing for. This gives me Curtains and Scheme. I need one more cut for Fire Covenant. Fairy Mastermind not doing a lot against their deck. It is a creature I connive with, though. I think I need Jace. Luris has lifelink. Alright, this is the new plan. Significant sideboarding. Maybe they just won't have Mana Crypt this game. That would be fine. Oh, look at this hand, though. I don't have blue. I'm going to trust in the deck to deliver a blue before it's too late. This could just be a skip my land drop, go to discard, reanimate a Tali line, which is not ideal, but if I miss on the blue land in 2 draws, I might have to go for it. All right, probe you. They have Relic of Sauron, Urza Saga. Where did this deck come from? What's going on over there? All right, I'm gonna roll my dice here. No land drop. Pass. Urza Saga. You got it. Punished. That's okay though. I could just play Ledger Shredder now. Then what's my plan? So they have that elite Spellbinder in their hand. How good is Atali just on its own? All right, I'm playing Ledger Shredder. I think this will make more sense now that I have the option to do stuff. And if they cast 2 spells, like if they do Lotus Petal out something here, which they didn't, Thought Scour myself, try to find any spell to play. No such luck. All right, it's becoming awkward now. Guess I'll attack. All right, hand's a little clunky. I need a second black source before this lethal scheme does anything. Now they could tutor like Soul Guide Lantern. Well, they have Soaring and Mana Crypt in their deck. Congratulations, opponent. Going nuts over there. I can still beat this though. If they Spellbind the Reanimate, things will get a little tricky. But I have Jace and Brainstorm in my deck that could set up Fnatic. If they cast 2 spells and give me a Connive, I'm going nuts. A Mountain, I didn't know about that. Right, there's Elite Spellbinder. And this makes the card cost 2 more. I mean, I got mana. Reanimate, I can afford to reanimate that costs 2 more. They could just kick Atali out of the game. It's never coming back if they put it in exile. I'm not going to have 9 mana, and I don't even have 2 red in my deck. Yeah, okay. Good call. JVP. I'll put it in. He might go unexpectedly absent in the near future. I'm not going to offer a trade with Ledger Shredder. The Spellbinder's already done its job. This isn't like an Oblivion Ring where I get it back if it dies. This is just in exile. Yeah, I boarded out the Chromatic Star. I have Ketria Triome. Yeah, the Blackcliff Cliffs Chromatic Star. I don't even think there is any version of this game getting super weird where I get to play Atali now. Yeah, if I had just played my Swamp turn 1, I would have had Atali in play already, but that was a risky keep taken based on knowing I could discard a hand size. And maybe that's just bad. I don't know. Or maybe I should have committed once I was there. Like, I could have also reanimated by now. They exiled Broadside Bombardiers. Their deck's insane. They should not have the mana to play it. So I've at least got that going for me. If they want to put Jace on top of my deck, I get a Connive. If they wait till my upkeep, Jace can become a Planeswalker at will. Flash Metamorphosis Fnatic is a cool play, which also turns on Lethal Scheme. Is that true? Unexpectedly Absent is unexpectedly useful. But if they absent my Jace, then they're not absenting my Metamorphosis Fnatic. Okay, Jace is going absent, and then he will loot himself away. Right, so I draw and discard Jace. And now I can flash Metamorphosis Fnatic, which can also reanimate Jace. Do I want to do this now or in combat? If I do it now, I can also Lethal Scheme. Okay. This looks pretty cool. Right, flash, Fnatic, don't pay. Fnatic, bring back Fnatic. Fnatic, bring back Jace. And this gives me 4 creatures to kill Lelia with. I think I want to tap Metamorphosis Fnatic, or I have to. Literally have to. Good, because I wanted to anyway. I wanted the flyer. Ooh, Fire Cove. Am I going to have time for that? I think I'd rather reanimate Lelia. And these 2 are going to connive again. Metamorphosis Fnatic, discard Concealing Curtains. And Jace, discard Rafine's Tower. Cool. Everything worked out how I wanted it that turn. And I have a 2/4 in front of their 3/1, 12 life to play with this reanimate, and a 5/5 lifelink in play. Can we turn the corner? Plains and Relic of Sauron are 2 of their 4 cards. That was a cool turn. There's the Plains. There's the Relic. If they do something, I get to connive. The Wandering Emperor, I mean, that's quite good. Infernal Grasp, I'll discard that. Alright, Emperor gets to take out Metamorphosis Fnatic. But I get to take out that if I reanimate Lelia. Wow, Jace. That's a fun card. right, I'm going to reanimate Lelia first and make sure Wandering Emperor is dead. And if Lelia hits a land, I still can play Jace this turn. Attack Emperor, attack Emperor. I hit Animate dead. I don't have black mana though. Not yet. All right, they're trading off with their own Lelia. That's a deal. And do I want to give up the possibility of Jace? Yeah, I think I do. Right. I missed anyway. Jace flips into Planeswalker mode. Spells in my graveyard include Gitaxian Probe, Thought Scour. I think I'm just going to plus Jace this turn. And I'll pass. Jace can refire Reanimate in the future. Touch the Spirit Realm, clears the Ledger Shredder. Relic of Sauron is card advantage over time. Oh my god. Or they could keep dropping bangers on me. Opponent has proven they will literally never have a bad card in their hand at any point in life. Mind Twist, Jesus Christ. All right, well, Jace is at 3. I can delete Jace to cast Infernal Grasp and kill Headliner Scarlet. Unfortunately, bouncing a haste creature doesn't do a lot. I could shrink Headliner Scarlet, play Jace the Mind Sculptor, and try to grind through this, but I don't want them drawing 2 cards a turn, or 3 cards a turn if you count the Relic. Reanimating Lelia again would just put me to 6, and I'd have to try to flip a good card. Missing out on double black has cost me multiple good plays this game. Alright, I think I just have to grasp the Lelia. Or whatever that is, Scarlet. Alright, please just loot. Don't cast fucking Goldspan Dragon or whatever. Oh, they finally didn't draw the best card in their deck. I hope they're looking at 3 lands right now. Respectfully. Disrespectfully. Discarded Mana Crypt. Yeah, you don't need that anymore. Yuffie gets to steal my Mox Emerald. Now I can't even cast Jace. Come on. Alright. Alright, I can cast Jace at least. I can bounce this idiot. Alright, bounce Yuffie. Oh, they only keep it until they have her. Alright, so we're going to fight over my Mox Emerald for a couple turns here. If I can tread water to the point where Jace can bounce a creature, then I twist away a bunch of turns worth of work. Maybe Jace could actually brainstorm. Run out of win conditions, though. My Reanimate and my Animate Dead are both spent. The Tali's already in exile. Never to return. Flage. No! Alright. We've lost this game. Weird opening keep. I got a little... I don't know if lost in the sauce is the right term, but it was a case of... My hand was weird that I committed to one thing, and it could have been less weird if I had faith, or less weird if I just committed to the thing I committed to. Alright, GG. A disappointing loss, but they did have Soul Ring and Mana Crypt in their deck. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in the final round with a hand that is very good. I'm going to keep it. Verdant Catacombs with the intention of getting the Undercity Sewer. Which 2 pieces of power does this opponent have? I'm curious to know. Alright, Undercity Sewer, here it comes. Thought Scour. I don't really need that card. Overlord of the Baelmerk, sweet. That lets me send this Psychic Frog, and even if it gets answered, I can pick it back up next turn. This also gives me the line of discard Overlord, discard Fanatic, reanimate Fanatic, get back Overlord. If my opponent just like taps out for Jace Vryn's Prodigy or some shit I don't care about. Or if they try to bolt my Frog. Yeah, please do damage to my Frog. I'm begging you. Pentad Prism. Okay, so they just tap their lands to have the same mana available. Drawing a land here would be Berserk. Not that one. Alright, I'm going to attack first. and just leave up lose focus. And I am going to discard Fanatic and Overlord. I'm doing this damage regardless. Hit you, untapped land, untapped land. We did it. All right, Island, Reanimate, Metamorphosis Fanatic. I have Counterspell backup. I'd like this Overlord to come with it. Where else is this adventure going to take us? I'd like Fairy Mastermind in my hand, and I'll leave Atali in the graveyard. I'm not even worried about them reanimating my Atali, because I can just jump Psychic Frog if they try. Pretty sweet. Turn 3. They're casting Through the Breach. It would be a shame if you lost focus on that. Do they have Force of Will? Are they going to slug it out and hit me with an Emrakul here? Cool. All right. Letting Psychic Frog draw the untapped land before making any other decisions there was good. All right, so it looks like we have a Through the Breach, Grixis combo something or other going on. Here I am, 3 for 3, boarding and concealing curtains. And my 3 for 3 cutting Dak too. Maybe Dak shouldn't have even been in the deck. Or maybe that's just how these particular matches came through and there's not really a conclusion to be drawn. I don't know. Concealing Curtains is in though. I do still have Chromatic Star, so I can cast an Atali if it comes to that, unlike last round where I was boarded down to 1 red source. And I guess Ketria's Triome could just be an island for efficiency's sake, unless I actually think casting Atali is going to be important. Alright, I am going to cut the Triome. I'm not trying to cast Atali. I have been burned in this league by drawing tap lands when I need untapped lands. My hand is a little too heavy on the monsters here. Gonna mulligan it. Ugh. There's not a lot going on here, but there is a lot of upside. I'll keep in Bottom of Swamp. Underground Mortuary. Look at me smoothing out my draws. Just bin Atali, easy game. Luris. I don't really want to draw this. And I can reanimate it later, if I need it. Opponent cycling Troll. Reanimate's on. They got a Badlands. Are they going to reanimate the Troll before I can? Pentad Prism. Alright, we might just be getting annihilated. There's Atali. I do like Atali. I'm going to reanimate Troll of Khazad-dûm. I tapped the wrong land. Not that I have Spell Pierce, but I could have at least pretended I did. Alright, if we just get turn 3 Through the Breach again, I don't have the answer this time. But it also depends on what the monster is. We're not playing Constructed. Oh my god. Please discard Atali. Dang it. Alright, they actually got the 2 cards that I would have more liked to keep. Infernal Grasp. Alright, my hand's pretty jank at this point. That Hymn to Turok was a heat-seeking missile. But they are under pressure. Depending on what they put through the breach. Alright, well, this just takes Infernal Grasp anyway. Alright, I think I would rather them just have Kitesail Freebooter in play than me lose 2 life. Because that can't block the Troll anyway. Spell Pierce, that's a sick draw after they just looked at my hand. Alright, they're down to 8. The work's being done. It's ugly, but it's effective. Through the breach without playing a land first? Shit. Alright, Freebooter's getting a taste. I'm down to 13. Island. Troll? Are we in? Opponent does not have an answer to Troll. That much is clear. 1 draw step to rule them all. Coast to coast with your own Troll? Can we do it? And they couldn't beat the Troll. Coast to coast. We did it. This deck was sweet. A pretty confused draft. The pack 1 pick 1 Underworld Breach in my sideboard. The pack 1 pick 3 Echo Vions in my sideboard. The Luris that I was a Luris deck for a very long time. Not actually being used. I mean, it's still a card in my deck, and that's fine. But this Reanimator stuff came together pretty late. That weird game versus the big Boros with Soul Ring and Mana Crypt where I had to make a call to try to hope to draw a blue source or go to hand size discard. I think my problem is I backed off the plan. If I just stuck to it and reanimated on the next turn, I would have at least had a Atali going. If I just played my land and had faith in the deck, I would have also had a Atali going, but that fails a larger percent of the time, I think. I don't know, that's one to think about, but whatever, it's just a cube draft. Deck is sweet. Psychic Frog's a banger. Reanimator remains, I think, the most objectively powerful thing to do if you can have the pieces to make it happen. I don't think I should be playing the Stack Vaden. I think just having better mana and an extra removal spell's probably a cleaner execution of this strategy. But I was feeling myself in the draft. Oh well, live and learn. Another 2-1 on the record. Everybody, thanks for watching what may be my last cube draft ever. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and come back next week for another cube draft.